People waiting, fantastic. Right, everybody, hello! Welcome to another week. And, oh wow, we're off. Loads of chat. My goodness, I feel like I've missed half the show. Right, Arnie, let's get us on screen as well. Shall we going to play into the show? This is not just a Welsh programme, a whole of Britain. We're going to try something from Scotland, I believe.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Is that Scottish, is it? There we are. Honour of Mona, that was Monica. Right, come on then. Play us in, Arnie B, with his Scottish tam o' shanty. It's a beret on. Thank you very much, Arnie. There we are, Scotland the brave.
Fried Mars bar.
Fried Mars bars, deep fried Mars bars. You got to batter them first. That's a myth. It's a myth. Right. Oh wow, so many people online already. Finky Stingers, hello, Ziggy Dan, Monica, Justin Infinity, Anthony Mitchell, Ziggy Dan. Hello everybody. There's a lot of chat going already. Do you ddim aros? I got to do my Welsh as well now. Watched the film The Dig last week. Yawn. Bet if they jazzed it up or made a documentary, poor film. I hope you watched our Sutton Hoo series as well, Ziggy. I think you did actually. Hello everyone. Is this live or record interview with Alan? It is recorded. Just to clear that one. Yeah, I'm not with Alan at the moment. I'd love to get Alan Wilson on line. We've got our computers, we've got all signed. Everything is set up. But, yeah, there we are. We'll just try and persuade him into it. So keep sending the love. Keep sending me the messages. I keep printing them out and sending bundles. So wherever you are in the world, no excuse. You can send me something. I will print it out. Whether it's pictures, cards, messages. I did speak to Alan this week, though, which is really good news. And I did record that conversation, the phone conversation, which is really good fun. And I will try and put that up either in the week or on next week's show. Right, so Fast Driver, Gary Taylor, thank you very much. Also, thank you for becoming a Patreon supporter. People are really starting to get into that, which makes all the difference in the world. You've no idea how much difference that makes. So thank you very much. Monica, Alan's greatest fan in Germany, and hang on a second, my new book with his text translated in German is now finished. Wunderbar, wunderbar, schöne Monica. Wir müssen auf diesen Channel sprechen. My German's not very good, but Monica has been writing a book, as she's put on there, translating Wilson and Heddwch into German, and Monica's done a great job over the years keeping all this going. So there. Yes. Yeah, I need to call Alan within the next few days. And yeah, well, good luck with that. It's not easy. Fortunately, they still call me now and again. Not very easy to get hold of them. Lockdown is hitting hard. And I'm not very happy about it. But what can you do? I was up there recently looking after Alan, so that was good. Wow, loads of people online. This is great. People logging on all the time. There's so much on tonight's show. I'm going to have to pile in soon. But Monica, we're going to have to do a Zoom interview, okay? And we can do one in English, and I'll try one in Welsh Welsh if you like, and German, if you want to push it on yours as well. Just try it, Ross. Now, the trouble is, ja, danke, okay. Ich will auf Deutsch sprechen, ja. Right, Stinky Fingers. Oh, Finky Stinkers. I knew I'd get that wrong. I've been trying every week not to get that wrong. Fire in the Soul. Hello, thank you very much. Wow, Craig Thomas, brilliant. Everyone's so much on. Right, so much to get through tonight. Tonight, you are finally going to see how I would like the show to be every week. And that is a real group effort contribution from across the ways, all right? Yeah, you got me, Finky. We tried for weeks to get me. He's got me. This is going to be how I like the show to be. We've got videos sent in by people and pictures and articles.
And less work for you.
Yeah, well, it's less work for me. Well, I'm still going to put everything together, but thank you, Artie. Yes, it's not just me talking the whole time, okay? So, without further ado, right, I just want to say hello. First of all, we are getting new people every week. Oh, and I've got the first thing is Sean's poem, and I haven't uploaded it. Sean Morgan, I do apologise. Last week we had the computer disaster. Sean's had the most brilliant poem, and we spoke on the phone, recorded it. It's great. Then my computer broke. I had to get the hard drive recovered. I've now got the hard drive. It's sitting on one of those caddy things. It's got the music, and I haven't lined it up. I'll tell you what, just to show you. Reminder to myself, okay? Just to show you, I'll just put this on screen. You know, it's my reminder to myself. First thing on this week's programme is going to be Sean's poem, because it's brilliant. Alright, so hope you're doing well, Sean.
You know, we can't see you.
You can't see me at all now, can you? No, I've got it on dim stereo mode. Uh-oh.
Back to caption.
Back to caption now. Alright, we'll just go back to me for a second. Back to me for a second while I sort this out. So I just wanted to let Sean know I do apologise. I haven't forgotten. It's great. Because if you remember, Sean was the one who introduced me to Toyn Tudor. Right, this is a fun bit now. I've got to try and make this work now. And, I mean, I didn't know what to think at first. It's one of these sort of very spiritual, and poems are coming out and all sorts of things. And I had to, Sean sort of visualise all these things. No. Hang on. And I was wondering, and then almost all those things showed to be so spot on the money, and it was brilliant, a real insight. And the poem is also a great insight. And Sean rang me up and read it, so it would be in time for my live interview with Andrew Johnson, which I hope everyone saw and enjoyed. Oh, hang on a second. Sorry about this. Oh, let's try again. Right, please. Yay, you got me as well now. Alright, okay, so sorry about that. Now we've got stacks to get through, and I will do the poem next time. It's going to have to be. Now, if you are new to the channel, you're very welcome, as are all the familiar faces. Sunday evening, just so you know, let's read the comments as well, Arnie.
What?
Is, Monica's found a lot of new things while translating. Brilliant. We're going to have a chat. We'll do it online, interview. I think that'd be great. And we've never actually spoken. We've emailed over the years, never actually spoken, so that'd be brilliant. Now, what I want to say to people here is that this is like the Sunday evening, more and more. What I want this to be is our little social evening. It's where we all get together. It's nice, it's friendly, we have a bit of music, a bit of fun. And what I'm going to try and do, what I've always wanted Sunday evenings to be, is a roundup of all the things that are going on, all the progress. I'm trying to get an update or something from Alan Wilson just about every week. Let you know what's going on with the books, all that kind of thing. And most importantly, and this is finally happening, it's great, is people in the group sending me things and I just put them up. As Arnie said, it's great. Saves me whip. No, it's not just that, because I'm doing interviews and loads of stuff as well.
It is just that.
No, it's not just that. Thank you. I never work with animals or children, least of all your own children. But anyway, they're so great. So let's. We've got so much to get through. I'm going to start right away. Now, the first one is. Right, I need to go back on screen share so we got the right button. I'm going to wait for this slight lag. Yes, great. Oh, I love it. It's like slick, isn't it? Oh, right. I thought I had everything ready a day or two before. Now, if you look in the description below the video, just like the professionals now, right? There's all the links for the articles we're going to talk about. How cool is that? Now, this is one that someone pointed out. So, what you have to do, suppose if I copy and paste on this, it's going to take me off presentation mode. Right, we've got so much to go through. I'm not going to actually go on the link on this one. And the reason I don't have to go on the link on this one this time is thank you for whoever shared this on, I think I saw it on the Facebook groups. I think it was ours, the Britain's Hidden History one. Yeah, sorry, to explain. Britain's Hidden History is all about the history of Britain, mostly Britain. Though it does involve Egypt. It does involve the Middle East. Oh, hello. Someone's come to steal the show.
Oh,
Oh, look.
Mimi.
Here we are. Never work with children and animals. So, but a disaster with a child. Are you going to smile to the camera? Are you? All those people who think I'm a witch, here's my familiar. You got a black cat. All right, Ali, can you let me out, please?
Okay.
So, completely distracted now. So anyway, so so a lot of history that used to be taught, used to be well known, and for various reasons has been removed from history or just forgotten, deleted, rewritten. This idea of woke and politically correct, all that, it's not the first time this has happened in history. This has always happened in history. And British history was really written out starting from about the 1700s and replaced with a new version. So we're trying to find the old version. All right, okay, so, Chris Wood, yeah, he's banned again. Yeah, the group is growing and growing, so it's brilliant. Right, is that... right, okay, sorry, distracting myself again. So I want to show now, so this article is something, it's actually a few years old, I was surprised. It was a new article, I thought. And an old boatyard was found in Monmouth, where they were building a housing estate. So what I did then... see if I was going to mess up the presentation if I jump in. Alright, I'm going to have to do it. No choice. Ugh. Isn't that terrible? Right, so what I'm going to do is get this. What you have to do is go to the show notes. You can copy and paste, or you can just jump straight in. Whoop. Hang on. There we go. And then you can see all these stories, okay? Now this one's a little bit different because this is someone's website. And what you'll find here is Prehistoric Britain, the trilogy that changed history. Slightly grand claim there. Now, so what I did on this one, I managed to get hold of the person whose website it is, who is Robert Langdon. And me and him had a great chat yesterday about loads of history stuff. And I'm going to be recording that, so I'll be putting that up during the week, okay? So you can hear more about this. But this particular story it's a great shot. This first one, there was existing houses. As the thing was being expanded upon, this situation where they discovered, it's heartbreaking really, possibly the oldest ship building or boat yard in the world, thousands of years old. And one of the fascinating things you can see on this next picture down, which I got talking to Robert about, is that it's multi-hulled. So, you've got two hulls, called a catamaran, plus an outrigger on the side. So they were making multi-hulled boats, which obviously has all sorts of ramifications then with travel around the world, Polynesians, Egypt, all this kind of stuff. And that's what it was like. And I was rather tragic. I thought it was a news story. And I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? It's all gone. All been built over. Awful. So there's photographs and things to see. But there was... Well, they're trying to get away with it as an old lake. But what Robert's got, which is very interesting, is a lot of theories about the ancient times, like many, many thousands of years ago. All right? He's talking 10, 12,000 years ago. And... sorry, some names on there. Obviously, a lot of the time then you have to kind of use your logic and then find some evidence and work with it. This tied in what he was doing, that the rivers in Britain have changed dramatically over that time. And there's a lot of evidence for that. Some water levels are higher, some are lower. We talked about all this. Now, the thing... So this you'd think most parts of the world, they'd be so proud to find possibly the oldest boat building evidence in the world. In Wales is just now underneath the housing estate. Nothing to be seen at all. And these people here, I've got total respect for. These weren't the official, archaeologists and stuff. Local people got this organised. They didn't have much money and they did their best. And hats off to them for really making an effort. But tragically, there's no big museum or visitor centre or anything to show that the British were making boats thousands of years ago. Or whatever it was when it all gets worked out. I think it's rather tragic, this kind of boat, which, I think this is very important. I don't know anyone else. If they're doing this in Britain, what else have we missed? He ties it in then with, travelling around the world and all sorts of things. Okay? And the dating. I don't necessarily go along with the dating. That's not the important thing. All right, so I'd highly recommend, like I say, all the links are in the show notes, as they always say. And he's got other articles. Turns out Robert has written 42 books, all right? He's got dolmens and barrows, and we have different ideas on almost everything, okay? But like I said, that's not important. He's questioning stuff, he's doing research, he's writing books, it's brilliant. One idea he put forward, which I think is massive, absolutely massive. It's in his writings. I've suggested he writes a book on this only, or we do something big about it. Something I'd never thought about. Hang on, let's go try and jump this around while I look up the next thing. Is that, you know the dikes? Like Offa's Dyke and things like that? The dikes, these banks. Well, if you look at them, and I try and lead into this, I'm going to have to move this slightly so I can see what I'm doing on the screen at the same time. Sorry to mess people around. Is they're not really, they don't look like military or defensive dikes. I know it sounds bonkers, but they're designed and they're quite flat bottomed, they're quite wide. The banks, you know, I've always thought Offa's Dyke doesn't make much sense as a military one. It's just too long, it's just too shallow, it's not high enough. Why have they got them there? Well, Robert's theory is that they were actually a form of canal. And if you look at where these different channels are, they link up different rivers. And one of his pet subjects is Stonehenge, and he thinks the channels there linking up with Avebury and Salisbury. Obviously, the one I was interested in as well was the Offa's Dyke going down the Welsh-English border, linking between the major rivers. And when you start looking at it, you think, hey, they do actually. So his theory is this was a way to travel around. It's densely wooded, it's full of wild animals, it's very scary. Who would do that when you would, it'd be easy to move by river? So how about that for an idea? And it's not just Britain, okay? It's the same...
it's like a boat railroad.
Like a boat railroad, a canal system. This is what we had in the 10s, 1820s, yeah, before the trains came along. So, there we are. I would be very interested in that. Let's just catch up on some of the comments. I'm looking at the hill fort landscape in light of Robert Langston's thesis. Yeah, he's got loads of great ideas. We got new chronology now. We got geological changes. The chat's going on there. I hope that comes up this time. Anyway, so thanks for that. And I'd recommend it, and I will be trying to edit the interviews and get them up this week. All right. Now, the next one. Sorry about the not full screen on the presentation. I want to pick things up. This was from Ivy and Wynne Williams, and also mentioned in his book further down. Just a little one, all right? I want people to have a go at this. I'm gonna do it on my screen, just to show. Is on things like Wikipedia. If you're not aware, Ceri Longsword's very famous. He fought against the Romans around about 52 to 74 AD. You see a video, Nash Point. You can see his boat-shaped mound. He's very famous. He was supposed to be in charge of the Western fleets and everything. So let's look him up on Wiki, shall we? Ceri Longsword. No. Did you mean Ketty Longford? No, I didn't. Alright. Let's try Porthkerry, because he's got a place named after him. It's Porthkerry, South Wales, okay? Porthkerry is badly spelt and translated, but this is in South Wales. You are in Welsh, you can see Porthkerry, C-E-R-I. Here it is, named after Ceri, right? What does it say about it? Where does it get its name from? Iron Age promontory, known as the Bulwarks, which is a little bit of truth in there, a little bit of help when you look at the Fortress Glamorgan, which I will be going back to, that series of videos. What else does it say here? Consists of 3 closely spaced, overgrown banks, fronted by ditches. 13th century. Oh, the viaduct also featured in scenes in Doctor Who, 2000. And also, more recently, Arnie, if you remember when we were there at Nash Point, just down the coast.
And then, just by chance, we watched a random episode of Doctor Who.
Yes.
And it was the one we saw being filmed.
The Cybermen walking through...
getting blown up.
Getting blown up in Nash Point.
And they did it so many times.
It was so funny, because
and then you didn't even see it. It was just a giant CGI nuke explosion.
There's the beep for you. There was I think we counted there was 60, 70 people there for half a day filming one scene.
And they were just standing there.
Anyway, let's not get on to that. For those Patreon fans, thank you very much. Much better value on here. And you'll never have to watch the BBC again. Try and get about 7 or 8 videos at least a week up. Okay, so no mention at all there, okay? So he's buried in Nash Point. So put that up. So the point that Ivian made is he seems to be completely invisible. It's weird, isn't it? I tried always, well, not always, because it might be a way someone else shows me that works. No mention here, even of the boat-shaped mound. Nothing at all. How strange is that? So, if anyone can find it, what was I thinking? I'd rather ask a drunken seagull a question than Wikipedia. Yeah, you see, anyone can edit, but unfortunately they have this approvals committee. And if you look at the way that works, I think there's about 12 of them. And if you're, it's a weird system. They count, it's like a voting system. But if you're consistently the one in the minority on the voting, like say you were kept pushing Ceri and everyone else says no, then before long you sort of get taken off the group. So it's quite a weird self-censoring kind of, I don't know, I'd call it Maoist really, but there you go. Alright, so there's a weird one. No Ceri, and it's the same, similar with some of the other ones. And as you pointed out before, Rob Pearce was on, who'll be on again this week, by the way. Robert Pearce, when he looked at things like, I haven't got time now because it's too much to show tonight. When you looked at, you find that King Arthur II is mentioned, but he's like 150 years after his father, stuff like that. It's weird, right? It's full on weird. Okay, so hello to Craig Wakefield Coates if you're watching. My son Arnie, his friend Alid, it's his dad who's into caving, and I think he also works for, what do they call themselves, Western Power. And they were doing some work, so they're putting up some, whatever it is, and they found this tunnel. Johnny Nigma also found this story. And I think it's another one where we're just not being told, not even a tenth, never mind a half, alright? So again, in the show notes, oh, I love saying that. Makes me sound like a real pro. Mind you, last week nothing worked at all, did it? If you remember last week, I had to just talk for an hour and a half. But anyway, if you are new, hopefully this is the idea. Lots of roundups. I'm not going to run that news story. Yeah, Western Power, there we are. He actually works for them. And these tunnels, what do they call them? Anyways, this wonderful tower system. They're saying it's 12th century. Who's to say it's not a lot older? CAD are investigating. Hooray! So everything's fine. Alright, so just a little story there because they could go a long way, these tunnels. Now, Alid's dad is actually a tunneler, and I think he's hoping he can go in there and do the exploration. And another rather scary thing, if it hadn't been, I was going to say the one good thing about lockdowns, but that's exaggerating. But I was due to go caving with him, because near Taft's Well there's an amazing cave system where he found some historical stuff. I'm not a big fan of heights or enclosed spaces, and this is abseiling down in a cave. It's like all my nightmares in one go. But we bumped into each other the other day, socially distanced of course, and that's going to be back on as soon as possible. Alright, yeah, there we are. Anthony Mitchell. I've always heard that Swansea Castle is linked with Oystermouth Castle via an underground tunnel. See, I was brought up around there. I've heard that as well. Andrew Whelan, they resealed the tunnel as soon as possible. What, this one? Or, I guess we're not going to find out, are we? That's the bottom line. But it would be good to know. Because I know at Nevern is supposed to be an interesting tunnel at the back of the cave with the cross on the door. So have a look at that, see what you think. Right, and there we go now, on to first of, this is from Michael Tomberlin. Hopefully we're going to go out very soon and visit a place. Now, if you go, I could have put this link in the description. If you look back, you will see a video called The Disappearing Walls of Garn Diffyth.
That was ages ago.
Ages ago, yeah, almost a year ago it must be. Yeah, it must be a year ago, I think.
Yeah, it was pre-quarantine.
It was pre-quarantine, yeah. There you go, more than a year ago. That's how you can time things now. And yeah, I think it was the previous September or November. So there we are, a year and 3-4 months. It doesn't really matter. The point was, Anthony Williams originally, sadly has passed away. That's another tale, but there we are, very sadly. He discovered these ancient walls, well, possibly ancient walls, we don't know that, but they're walls with huge stones, and some of them 40, 50 feet high. It's anywhere else in the world, they would be called megalithic, and they'd be quite a fuss being made. And I'm trying to get Hugh Newman to have a look as well, because he does Megalithomania, which I will be speaking at May the 17th. Oh, go get the dates right. Can't remember the dates. May the 9th. It's going to be online, because last year got postponed, of course. But unfortunately, in South Wales, what's happened is the council have been taking the stones out, demolishing the walls, and replacing them with featherboard. You have to see it. And if you are wondering, yes, it is the same place that was on the Rich Planet video, where the pyramid is supposed to be. So Anthony Williams, rest his soul, and we went up there and had a look as well, made that video. And what Michael Tomberlin has found is that just up the road from Garndiffaith is a place in Blaenavon, which we're going to go up and film. And it seems to be something similar there. So people in that area, it's in Gwent, for those who know, southeast Wales. And so, top work, Michael. He's been a great supporter of this channel since the beginning, and the work. He's the one who found me my little 1688 dictionary, so he's an absolute treasure on this, and gets special mention in dispatches, as I'm doing now. I'm going to put this camera nearer me, because I'm trying to read it. So the stone wall on the right curves round and carries on up. Just see the end of the wall on the left. You can see that little blue arrow. You can just about see. There are more pictures in a minute. The path leads down to the main track. Just up from this photo are some large stone boulders on the side of the main track. These are big boulders and stones. So how do these ancient things get built? Easy to imagine these boulders forming a large defensive wall along the entire track. A gradual incline, ideal for wagons and horses. Only alternative would be the Abersychan Road, or a deep incline up to Blaenavon. Where this path leads from could have been a side gate for the main track, and then you got another wall for extra defence. No, I'm with him on this, looking at the pictures. It's not the best picture, Michael, there, but the other ones are very good. So what we have, obviously, the track shown here is more recent, right? It's probably a tramway for the during the Industrial Revolution. You know, these tracks are put down with trams and stuff to move. Wales has got everything, you know, iron up and down, or lime was a big around here, lots of different things. Okay, but what we're looking at is the more ancient, same as Heddwch, right? It's not far from Heddwch. This very ancient area seems to be very important. This is like the same shot from the other side. You can see there's a wall there, which could be an ancient wall. It's dry stone. It's curious construction. And I'll show you something in a minute. So I really want to have a look at these walls and where they lead, because they do seem very similar to the Garndiffaith walls. And again, trees are going to destroy them slowly, such as life. Let's film it at least, and try and preserve it. If we don't know what we're losing... Oh, I almost quoted Joni Mitchell then. Just don't know what you got till it's gone, but it is like that. Right, this is where it gets really interesting from my point of view as well, is there seems to be huge burial mounds up here. You can see on this one, lots of large stones, potential burial mounds. Where's the picture I saw earlier? I'm getting the pictures mixed up. Yeah, it's on the walls at the moment. Sorry, I'm not sure I put them in quite the right order. But you get an idea of this kind of beautiful landscape, well worth visiting. Especially this time of year when the trees aren't in full leaf and there's not so many ferns everywhere. And then someone really needs to map this out and try and work out what all these stones are doing there. So if you're near, please contact me. I'm going to try and go up there very near future, like this week, hopefully, with a camera, and do a little report from there. And if you want to come along or happen to bump into me, whatever. Right, so here we go. There we go, the burial mounds. Right, I've got this camera in the way. Burial mounds on the right-hand side. As you enter this area, it feels like entering into a graveyard or church. Yeah, look at the side of the mounds on the right. It does seem very evocative, and the ancient trees. Them some old walls, says Finky. Yes, I agree. Arnie presents. What are you pushing on?
You told me to
oh, brilliant!
drop a link in the chat to the video. So
Hey,
the link in.
hey, look at this. This is like proper pro stuff now. Was that a link to the Garndiffaith video?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you watch that later. It's really, well, it's a fascinating sight, okay? Look at these bad boys. How big are these mounds? This could be a big find from Michael here. And if anyone gets up there with some cameras and stuff, I think we have to record this. And I'm also going to send these pictures. I'm going to print them off and send them up to Alan Wilson, along with a report, and find out what he thinks. So when you do send me stuff, it does get forwarded, and we do try and talk about it. And please, please, please keep sending it, because he's fallen into that old person trap of blasted 24-hour news thing is on. And it's heartbreaking. I'm watching one of the greatest minds, or the greatest mind of a generation, or two generations, being eroded by that mulch hitting his brain with a constant negative message every 15 minutes. So it happened to my dad, and now I'm watching it happen to Alan, and there seems to be nothing I can do about it. So the best thing we can try and do, I think, is to send loads of stuff up, and ask him questions, and force him to engage, you know. And hopefully I can get up there again soon as well, when they stop being so terrified. But look at those, anyway, sorry, putting down on things. Look at those mounds there, okay? They look fantastic, don't they? So that's where we're going to be. So please, Ross at camberoglyphics.com, drop me an e-message, and join myself and Michael. And it counts as work. This is filming. We're producing a film. You've got a legitimate excuse or reason for travelling. Okay? So thank you very much, Michael, for that one. Right, slight from England now. And if you remember a few weeks ago, I know I say it's England, you see the name's David Owens. Couldn't be more Welsh, could it? But David is originally from Wales, but moved to England when he was young. Similar to me, actually. I also moved to Derbyshire when I was a lad, when I was 4, and lived near here. That's why I ain't got such a strong Welsh accent, but I got a good Derbyshire accent now and again. So hey up, David, up in Derbyshire, and the reason he's got in touch is because sorry, go on.
Are Wilson and BHH set up to watch any of your vids?
No, they are not, and I can't do anything more. I've got them plugged into the internet. I've got the internet plugged into the computer. All I have to do is press the button, and they should do. What I am going to do, though, I'm starting to do, I've got, if you notice in our living room, I would have seen them as a big box of DVDs, and I'm downloading them and trying to get them on their DVD player on the TV.
It's a lot of DVDs.
Yeah, there's a lot of DVDs, and try and get everything up there. Last time I was there, I did sit in front of the computer, and the difference was so dramatic. He's watching the videos, you know, and you can see him just loving it and making out brilliant comments. My funniest one, I might have told you before, I'm going to say it again because it makes a warm feeling in my heart. And it was probably almost 2 years ago, and I'd done a video where I was standing on a small hill, and in the background you could see Two in a Glow, you know, where the Ark of the Covenant's supposed to be and all this kind of stuff. And there's a mound on the top, and you can see the something. It's a really good camera angle. So I'll stand on here. I think Arnie was filming, even back then.
When?
We were looking at Two in a Glow from the road.
Yeah.
We pulled over, and I stood on that little hill, and you took the video. Do you remember it? Great. Yeah, we all went out for the family. It was a great day out. And I was up Alan's then, a while ago now, year and a half ago, and I showed him the video, okay? So it's just started, right? It's been running for about a minute. 2 minutes. I'm standing there. Hello, I'm Ross. Giving it all that stuff, right? And he says, "Oh, what's that there? What's that mound there?" And I think, oh no, Alan's lost it. He's going senile, you know, because it's Two in a Glow. I mean, he's written books about it. Like, come on, Al, what do you mean? It's Two in a Glow. And I can't say the exact words Alan used. There's a bit of industrial language, but it was, "No, you bleep bleep idiot. That there. What's that?" he said. And he's pointing at the hill I was standing on, and I was standing on a mound. I didn't even realise it. He said, "Look, see that there? That's the drainage sump. That's there. You want to explore that?" And blah blah blah. And he explained how it all worked. And there we are. So there's me thinking he was losing his.
Literally under your nose.
It was literally under my nose and my
feet
feet.
as well.
Yeah, underneath every bit of me. So he's sharp as a button if you can just get him onto the subjects. So I can't emphasise often enough. It's also Barham he's at his wit's end. He's got his ageing mother to look after one end of Newcastle and Alan to look after the other end of Newcastle. So it's very, very tough. So keep sending the love, keep sending the cards, the messages. Just send to me. I'll print them out, and every week just about. You saw the size of the bundle last week, wasn't it? And then keep us that card there, Arnie. Just that one there. I do get cards and phone calls from them. Here's one that Baron sent me last week, just so you can see. I think in Roman Hadrian's Wall, they're very random, the cards, right? To Toulouse-Lautrec last week, so there's no secret messages. And there's the message and all that kind of stuff, telling what's going on. So we are in regular communication, but it's far from ideal. Right, anyway, where was I? Sorry, yes, back up in Derbyshire, wasn't it? With David Owens. Yeah, a few weeks ago, I'm going to speed up. We want to get to Alan. Everyone wants to see Alan. We will get there, don't worry. We talked about, Marshall was on there talking about all the Abrahams around the country, one of which is, right, hang on. Oh, you can see me trying to find the damn thing. I've got to be careful now. One of these was up in Derbyshire. You got Jacob's Ladder, which I was very interested in, because I was brought up very near there.
All right, Ross.
Hang on. I got to go for the very start, because then you get a bit... He hasn't got the most Derbyshire accent, but, you know. Anyway, so let's have a look. It's these beautiful views. A place called Andover, which I think he hasn't quite clarified, but I'm pretty sure it's next to where Heights of Abraham, or Abraham's Ladder is.
All right, Ross. Just thought I'd do a little video for you of the area that I'm living in. This is Ashover.
Ashover, sorry.
Over that way. Let's have a look here. Past the church, over the valley there. Top of that hill drops down into Tansley and Matlock Bath. So this is like the highest point. I'm sitting on this rock. You know, the old feet out, look. That's what I do. Keeps me sanity in these times. And it's a nice day today, so you can see the Ashover down there, and then goes around. You can see, like, from this point, this highest point, you can see like 4 different counties. So you're going all the way. You've got to the north that way. Then you've got Lincolnshire over that way, and I don't want to turn the other way because I'll slip off this rock I'm sitting on. But over there, it's kind of Manchester. South, well, it's not south down that way. So yeah, over here, this thing, if you can see it, you can see because I think I'm on the right area. That's a nuclear listening underground station device. So they built 30 foot down. You go for that manhole cover thing, and it's built into the rock. And they were listening. So there's all these local stories. In the 60s, in the Cuban Missile Crisis, the military came up here and cordoned it all off, filled that with water, and put listening devices in it to listen for signals from nuclear weapons or whatever, or some might say the conditions to listening for the conditions to set our nuclear weapons off. Well, that's another story. But there you go, mate. So yeah, Matlock Bath over there, which is quite an area, to be fair. But I'll leave it with that with you.
Isn't that great? Whoop. Yep. So I was only a young lad. But Matlock Bath, remember that? They were great. So it's very famous, a big hill there. So I'm hoping to get more information about that area. I know it seems a little bit weird just to show a little thing like that. Oh, hang on, I'm off the bottom of the camera now. So that's the kind of thing. If you can attach some ancient history with it as well, because we did have some emails back and forth and stuff. If people have got stuff, they can share things like that with the history. We've got a great one coming up in a minute from the Welsh guys as well. Right. I am not going to go to the link on this one because you can see it in the show notes and it's all stuff we've seen before. But thank you to Poppy Sage for sharing this article on the Facebook group and that, which is looking at yet more evidence for pre-Roman roads. So they say Romans brought roads to Britain. They most definitely didn't. And the amazing thing is, the more of this new evidence that comes out, the more it shows the ancient records of the British seem to be correct. The roads are where they should be. They've got this one, I think, has got cambers and drainage, and it's very sophisticated. So this idea of just, corrugated, they call it. We put logs down, and that's all we had. No. Anyway, unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss that in more detail. But yeah, the comments there. Yes, it would be wonderful to have Alan and Tony on Sunday evening. And as soon as this lockdown's done, I'll be up there like a flash. Because I do need to record Alan, because he's supposed to be doing a video for Megalithomania as well. So the whole thing is very blinky and frustrating all around. What can you do, eh? What can you do? Oh, we try our best. Right, okay. This is from Margaret Taylor Hill. Thank you very much. Again, like you to look at this one. It's something I think people in the group are very familiar with, and it's the idea that these great landmarks, if you join them up, they do form patterns, and you can see they're not just random. There's far more to it than just religious function, which is what you always get on mainstream. It's religious. Some ways it's quite clever and scientific, you know. A lot of astronomy, a lot of astrology. Right, okay, I'm whizzing through quickly now, conscious of time. Oh, we're not doing too bad, but there's something at the end I want to talk about, please. And of course, Alan as well. We've got about 20 minutes, I think. Is it, Alan? Right, this is, thank you, Andrew Whelan, who also got in touch via the channel. And we were talking about Cymroglyphics. The book is available. Please buy the book. It's doing very well. And hopefully it's due to go into print in America as well now. So there we go. More on that soon. And I do more videos about reading hieroglyphs using Welsh. Right, Toyn. Now, for those who are not familiar with the words, hang on a second. The Heights of Abraham were named for the death of Wilfred Cwec. Yeah, but I think this is an older one. Sorry, it's Abraham's Ladder. Sorry, Heights of Abraham. You're quite right, Marshall. But this is Abraham's Ladder. This is slightly older, I think. Right. Amelia, if you copy videos onto DVDs, we can get them a player that plugs into the laptop with a USB. Would that work? Yes, it probably would. I know he's in front of his TV and he's got a DVD player. I'm thinking that might be easier. Stephen Lacey. Explain what the nuclear dump thing was. They are to report on the damage caused by a nuclear strike. We have one here at Penacoica. Great. Wow. That's a comforting thought, isn't it? I think if a nuke hits, you'd have no doubts knowing how much damage it's done. But there we go. Yes, he has a computer. Thank you very much to everyone. If you remember, about 6-7 months ago, maybe longer, we had a contribution where people in the group all chipped in. Great. Everyone was very generous. Raised enough for a notebook computer. Actually got 2 in the end, so I can set them both up. And, hang on. Gerard, he's an IT guy. He got us a ton of kit for the money. Everything's set up, the whole lot. We just got to hit the on button and engage. We will get there, all right? It'll take time. I think it's more psychological. There's no doubts they could do it. They got the technical skills. Everything's set up. It's easy enough. They've used emails and stuff in the past. I think it's all just part of this kind of, they've had a tough life. They've been attacked and persecuted, and you get a lot of online abuse. Isn't going to help things. And then you got the mental issue of watching constantly negative, mind-numbing news all the time. So, there we go. All right. Hey, I'll see you in a minute. You can see when I was up there. I was up there to do some caring. That's a bit patronising, but we need to look after. And Tony had to go away. So I'll show one of the chats we had. Not particularly about history, just so you know. Right, hang on a second now. What do I have to do now? Oh, yeah, I know what I have to do. God, dear. I got to open this to the right one, because Windows has a nasty habit of turning the wrong way up. Open with no, not Windows, VLC.
Okay.
Alright, now this is important, and I just want to explain the background to this one. If you notice, I've been doing the Arturius Rex book by Wilson and Blackett, which is fantastic. And if you're new to Wilson and Blackett's work, that's the one you want to get first, I would say, because it's just a nice book. It's so much in it. It's well presented. It's great. And one of the subjects it covers is this idea of Southeast Wales being the kingdom of King Arthur, protected by a ring of forts. So along the south coast, we just mentioned Porthceri, you've got high cliffs along most of the south coast, and in the inlets between the cliffs, you'll have fortresses, and then coming in from the east, so if you were attacked by the Guisi or the Saxons or whoever it is from England direction, you've got the major rivers to cross and they're blocked. If you come from the north, down from Brecon, that kind of area, you're going to come down through the valleys. So what we've been looking at is what forts are on the valleys, both as lookout points and to block them as a defensive fortress network, okay? So Andrew and his buddies been up there. They found what looks like possible fortresses. There's embankments up there. course, none of this is recorded on any maps anywhere. I'm going up with a camera as well. So much going on at the moment. Do my best. But what they've done is even better. I mean, I'd love to come and see everything. I'd love to meet everybody, film everything. What's even better, though, this is a group event. As I always say, what we want is a little by lots rather than lots by little, okay? And this is a great example of progress that we can all enjoy watching. So, in a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, 41 seconds. So please enjoy this.
Okay, here we are at Toyn Gwastafa. So this is the clearing. There's not an awful lot to see. Over that way you'd have clear view of the Aberdare Valley, and more or less this way would be the Merthyr Valley with views all the way up to Penryn.
So I just want to say, I don't want to interrupt Andrew, but it's a good example of these evergreens being in crucial sites and blocking the views for everything. Even in the winter you can't see a thing. And this Forestry Commission land, I tell you, it is frustrating. Anyway, sorry.
Morlas Castle, and that would be down the valley between the mountain, between Aberdare on the right and Merthyr on the left. Some stones here which look like maybe a cairn. Plenty of old stone. Just going round in this direction. I'm still on top of the stone, so there's plenty of stone. That's where I just walked from. So the tree line there would be... Oh, Tomo!
Don't film the
There's a bear shitting on it.
That's my people.
So this would be the outer perimeter.
This ditch is quite deep, isn't it?
It's a deep old ditch, yeah. So to signify there'd be a lot of stone there. I can film him now. There's Tomo, the other side of the ditch. So that would have been quite a lot of stone back in the day. So there's the bottom of the ditch. Perhaps if I go down to the other side, perhaps you can get more of an idea of the ditch, which, there we go, it's still about 6 foot tall. I'm standing on the outside now. Yeah, we're still on the perimeter. So you get to the tree line there, and there's more of a panoramic view of the site. So you'd have a good vantage point here into the Aberdare Valley, Merthyr Valley, down the ridge between Merthyr and Aberdare. Rickos would be somewhere up that way. North Merthyr up there. Morlas Castle. So you're actually... How are you, wee Tom? For what?
410 metres on your west.
On the OS, we're 410 metres above sea level. So we're basically on the county line between Merthyr and Aberdare, and there's an awful lot of monuments on this line, given that they all run across the ridge and you can see into each valley and everything about. So, over and out from Dickie Dout, over and out from Andrew, Independent Tropical Merthyr, over and out.
Fantastic, and good valley humour at the end there. That's yeah, there we go. So that's Welsh boy humour, all right? That's how we do things. As you know, I never seem very serious, but he's actually covering some serious points and do some good work up there. So at the next stage now, try and map it out and see where it fits in. As I've written on the screen here, is it part of the fortress system? It looks like there's a bank there and is it an encampment, or is it? So I've got the camera right in front of me. Is it an ancient route? Yeah, because as Andrew said at the end there, it seems to be the main dividing county line between Aberdare area, Merthyr, and... Oh my goodness, I just had a sudden thought about this. Wow. I think it's in one of the Wilson and Blackett books. I think it must be in... I think it's in Discover the Ark. I think so. I'll have to check, and I'll get back to you, Andrew, and everyone else. But oh no, I tell you what, it was Craig Walters. Craig, I haven't heard from for ages. Hope you're well, Craig. I'm watching this. Craig Walters pointed out this area. Yes, 2 or 3 years ago when I met him, and I need to give Craig a bell. If you're there, Craig, drop me an email because I haven't heard from you for ages. I know you haven't been very well, so I hope you're better. And because what Craig's good at is he used to walk all the hills, but now he's good at looking at the maps and plotting them out. And you got people like Andrew there and his mate Tomo, I think he was called, and me, who was prepared to go up there, boots on the ground. But there seems to be some massive ceremonial, either one of these sort of Graham Robb type ancient paths going over the sort of heads of the valley type situation, or it's a link of fortresses, or it's something. It's something, because there's a lot of monuments and stuff going on up there, okay? So we're going to try and plot that out and have a look. So that's the kind of thing I'd love to receive. I thought it was brilliant. I hope everyone else does. We'll get some good comments. Fantastic, all right? Okay, and this is all the way now from Canada. Patricia, hey? Patricia's Welsh, and she even speaks Welsh, so might take the mickey with my A and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I was almost brought up in Canada, just so you know. My parents were really close to migrating. We had papers done and everything. And then something about the winters put my dad off. He used to work for British Rail. Well, it wasn't British Rail those days. It was God's Wonderful Railway, the GWR, the Great Western. And he remembers a story where, I think this is what actually put him off. It was something in one of the newspapers. Because the GWR was famous for its punctuality. And that the train could not be, minutes late. And everyone was for the high jump. There's a famous story. He did write a lot of funny stories down, which I should have kept a bit. I don't know where they are now. One was when the guardsman's wife was actually coming over the bridge, over the, those little footbridges over the track. So you come down. And he could see her, and she was screaming at him, hang on. He looked at his watch, bang on the second, they pulled off, and she missed the train by 30 yards, so that's the kind of mentality. And people are always complaining about the trains being late in Britain, and then they say, like, well, in Canada they get like 8 foot of snow, and still the trains run on time, and all this kind of stuff. And then firstly, I think my dad thought, wait, 8 foot of snow, that's a lot of snow. And then the other one was then, someone would reply saying, yeah, and sometimes the trains don't run for a week. so I think the combination of events. Anyway, so there we go. Patricia, so west coast of Canada. It's fantastic. Helped with all the books. Really helped me at the moment. We are going to get the Britain's Hidden Christianity out. Patricia's done her bit and sent it all over. I got to plough through and then send it back. And we got first half's already been proofread. So thank you for all that. Yeah, David Mosley there, yeah. One tip is to do it in, for people like Andrew, thank you for that wonderful video, is turn your phone landscape mode. It does automatically fill the whole screen, which clearly works better with monitors and stuff. Cool, good to hear from you, David. Hope you're alright, mate. You had a tough time, so good to see you on here. Yeah, need to have a look around our local woods. That's the kind of comment I want to see. I'm still trying to figure out what some of the stone walls were for, or if they're potentially part of the castle grounds. Go and have a look. Take your phone, your camera, whatever. So Patricia there, please have a look at this article in the links. I can't go through it now, I've got time. The reason why it's important is while they say it's Roman, as the old saying we have in Britain's hidden history, everything's Roman, okay? Everything's Roman. So it might not be Roman, it might actually be British. And what's it doing there in Canada, and how long's it been there? All right, quick updates on how we're doing on the... Oh, what happened there? The raffle, please. The raffle is going to close soon. I think it's 1 week. The last week, I think I recorded this screenshot a couple of days ago. The draw... I don't do a draw, by the way. It's all done by the computer, by the website. All out of my hands. They take a cut, and it's easy to do, though. It works really well. I will let you know a secret. So far, we've had 38 tickets sold, which is not bad, but it's not huge. What it does mean, you got a very good chance of winning. For one, it'd be nice to have some more tickets coming in, because by the time we take out the cost of the slate and the work and the postage, it'd be nice to make something. Because all proceeds, just to remind everyone, everything we do on here, from the book sales, raffles, anything like that, all gets shared with Wilson and Blackett to help them, give them some comfort in their old age. All right? They don't ask for it, they don't beg for it, but we like to give it anyway. So we do some good stuff, innit? Let's do some good stuff, and also keeps us going. I do this full time now, and I have a family. So need somebody, please. But don't panic, we're not skint yet, although we're getting there. Right, okay, I'm going to jump because we want to get to Alan Wilson. Ivion Wynne Williams, who got mentioned earlier. Please check out the website. I'm not sure I've said this to Ivion yet, but I'm going to give Ivion a call and record a little video chat, because he's written books. They're set more in North Wales, but they are in this kind of, it draws a lot of Welsh history, and the bit I read, and I think there's an extract there you can read for free, is about fighting the Romans. It's really powerful writing. It's very kind of dramatic, Bernard Cornwell type of stuff. So if you want to break from just reading the factual books, sorry, I'm not saying this isn't. It's novel in a historical background. It's a bit more adventure, fun stuff than just reading the straight history. And hopefully I can get Ivion on and we can have a bit more of a chat about it. Right, okay, the moment everyone's waiting for, and I've been teasing you long enough now. You have to watch me while I just go back to this. And just relax. I am actually going to be very cheeky. I've never done this before in the middle of a show. But I'm going to just top up my my cup of tea.
Unless you was
hang on, Alan. Hang on. I haven't edited this or anything. This is just a one-off clip. And I want to say that... hang on, put the great man on the screen. You see him looking at his hand. Don't worry about that. He had a cut which had become a little bit infected. But don't worry, I sorted all that out. I got it all cleaned up. Bandaged and tea tree oil and all these kind of things. And it's all fine. And this was months ago and he's still fine. I spoke to him a few days ago. He's good. And I don't think I think when you meet a great man like this with an amazing mind, it's the temptation is to spend all of your time going through all the history stuff. But there's only so much my brain can take in, and Alan needs a break as well, and there's so much already. It's phenomenal. But what I find, in fact, I'm not going to go make a tea, I'm not going to miss this. I watched it a few times already, I'm going to watch it again. Is that they learn the wisdom and just general chat. Anyway, I've dragged on long enough. I'm going to just make sure I turn the volume up. You should be able to hear it fine, so here we go. Just talking general chat, all right, about the old days.
Unless he was present, and
Yeah. Well, even when I was young, I'm not that old, but even when I was young, you still had a lot of this going on.
Territorial.
Yeah, well, I was street with our little football team, and we played the next street and stuff like that.
That's right. We did that.
Whereas my poor boys now, they go out to play at the front. There's no one to play with.
That's
If they can find two other kids outside.
Yeah, but you can't play in the street anymore.
Well, we were a very quiet little cul-de-sac. We're lucky, but even the fields.
Kids would chalk out hopscotch squares, and you go 1 foot, the other foot, 1 foot on the pavement on the road.
That's possibly an ancient thing, isn't it?
Ah, that's an ancient thing.
Let's go back to Troy mazes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
These little games we innocently play, don't realise.
Yeah. Well, I think from my point of view, it helps me to have lived then.
Yes.
Because I can understand the histories better than a kid born today.
Yeah.
He's not able to grasp in the same way.
Well, even generations like mine. I mean, when you go evacuating in the war and you're in a little village where it's tiny, and you say it's outside the bar, there's a line of horses and ponies drawn up.
That's right. Well,
and everyone would know everybody there. How many houses in that village would you say roughly, or how many people would there be?
Where was one you went? Fishguard.
Yeah, well, you ended up near Cumdewi, didn't you?
Dagenham. I doubt if there are 50 houses. I doubt it. Very few. I have one street and a little side street and a few scattered further off. Not even that.
Well, that's very remote then, isn't it?
No, we didn't think it was.
Oh, no.
There was another one. There was another one about 20 houses a mile away, you know. It was,
That's like I always say, I never
but
left.
everybody knew everybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
And if somebody had trouble, the others were in the house helping it.
If you imagine that situation with no radio and no television.
Well, if you had, the people did have them, the odd people, so...
But a generation earlier, I'm
With
talking
half a
about.
dozen neighbours would come in and listen.
Yes. If you went back a generation or
I
two
mean,
earlier.
in our house, my father always had a radio. He and my mother, they had a radio and that was it.
And you get more informed, yeah.
And but you'd come in and you go through. You never went through your front door to your house. You always went through the back door. Nobody entered their house through the front door.
Why is that then?
They always went on the lane and back door.
I always used the back door of my house. Why is that?
I don't know. And you get in the kitchen and there'd be about a dozen people in there listening to the radio. It's bad news if it was big stuff coming over. Or maybe 4 or 5 on occasions. Because they didn't have radios. And my mother says, come in, what is the radio? And neighbours knew each other more. Woman having a baby, there was no maternity hospital.
Yeah.
The women in all the neighbouring houses. Yeah, I remember being told, you've got to have your dinners in Mrs. Ellery's house, and you've got to have tea in somebody else, I forget now.
Yeah. And the rotor works out.
Aye. And that was it, you know.
Yeah.
And you went in their house and sat down and had a meal with them.
Yeah.
My brother went to a different house, because my mother's having a baby.
Farm you all out, yeah.
Yeah. And we did it for them.
Yes.
So the kids of some, we'd come home and they'd be knocking at the door, and two little boy and girl would come in, and my mother said she'd have them, you know. And they'd sit down and eat with us.
Yeah.
Not going to go on for weeks until the mother was, the baby was able to manage and you know.
Yeah, we try and keep that tradition going, but it's very difficult, and there's very few people do it now. And especially with the current restrictions, it's almost impossible.
I'll tell you what, they can have all the material they want. And I'm an old man now, so we can say I'm a bit biased, okay? It was a better world. It was a better world.
Yeah.
It was, you know.
Well, I watch my own children. They're happier when they haven't got the electronics or anything, but they've got other friends around.
That's what we need.
If we have a couple of other lads around the table, and there's only 8 or 9 of us.
That's what we used to have. A couple of guys, a couple of the local boys,
friends around,
house, and we'd be invited to go to their house.
Yeah, they just chat, they
for the
play
evening.
outside.
Sometimes they invite you around for tea, but usually went on after tea,
Yeah.
6 o'clock, 5:30. And you go to each other's houses.
And then play outside and do whatever you do.
Well, it was raining, you couldn't play outside, but you played outside, you didn't bother.
You amuse yourselves, don't you? That's the thing.
Aye. In the winter it was dark, so you'd have to go to each other's houses. But people just did it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, there's still a small amount going on, but it's very small now. But there we are. So what would you think then? Just trying to go back.
People were happier, I'll tell you that. You see women out with their clothes on the clothesline singing. Singing away. Singing songs and things like that.
Yeah, just enjoying their life.
And doing it in the house, people would sing. They would sing.
Yeah.
But no, they got the TV to do it for them.
Well, you see me singing all the time.
Well,
Whether you like it or not.
I used to sing a bit. He used to tell me, for Christ's sake, oh, shut up, you know. Because my voice is bad. I still like to sing.
Yeah, well, you caught me singing this morning, didn't you? So
there you go. Why not?
Yeah, I'm happy. I've just been happy with life. It's an expression. We're given these singing voices, whether it's God or creation or whatever you think it is. But they're a way of showing a happiness, aren't they?
Well, a way of relaxing yourself as well. You know.
It's a wonderful thing.
The fact that you're happy to yourself.
What do you think about singing? You don't need singing. You can talk.
Well, they don't want you to sing anymore. They want you to play a record or turn the radio on.
Or rap.
You mustn't sing anymore.
You just rap now.
And when are you anybody singing? Never. And people walk down the street. People walk down the street singing. Some of them, or whistling.
Yeah, I was going to say whistling.
Whistling was another thing.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm the only person I know now who whistles. I don't see anybody whistling.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's gone completely whistling, hasn't it?
Well, you can get someone to do it for you, see, press the buttons.
But I walk along whistling and people think, oh, it's amazing you can do that. I'm like, it's not really. Everyone used to be able to whistle.
terrible whistling.
Well, I'm good at whistling.
My brother was good at it.
I like whistling.
My brother was good at it.
I'm better at whistling than I'm singing. But can we just go back slightly further, just to finish this section? So you were saying that everyone, I'll put some more stuff on your hand then, is everyone would gather around the radio to
Yeah.
get the latest news.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit further then. The previous generation, if you like, before the radios. I mean, that must be then you really are cut off then, wouldn't you be? Or, I mean, that's when the history gets
Or
different, isn't it?
newspapers were the thing then, and people would come in and borrow the paper. I remember my aunt's house, when I was very young. I was born in her house. See, houses in Cardiff were built with 4 rooms, kitchen, the front room and 2 middle rooms, as it were. Always 4 rooms. In the older houses, terraces, there were small ones, of course. And if a girl got married, one of the downstairs rooms would be given to her and her husband, and 1 bedroom. And people rarely moved. They either went to his house and lived with his parents, or her
Just lived in
parents.
the front room, yeah?
It's all the middle room usually,
Or whatever room, yeah.
not the front room.
Sorry, middle room, yeah.
But it's just one of those things,
I do like the idea of everyone being together in the house. I think that's nice, that is. I know my parents were, when they're getting old, they're very, very isolated, Well, we moved back to
never
be near
isolated.
them. No, there was no isolation, was there?
Mm.
We moved back to be near them, but we still went in the same house,
Yeah. Well,
And also you got the...
it was automatic. If a daughter got married, her husband and her would move into the room the daughter was living in. And most of the old houses were terraced. They had a front room, middle room, back room, and
Yeah.
small kitchen.
So
So
they
you
would
could
be-
usually wangle a room for them, and the upstairs was the same.
Big space somehow.
So depending on how many kids were in the house, you might live with the son. The son was live with his mother, or they'd move in with her mother. Usually it was the daughter's house. And people, the idea of having their own house straight away was just mad. Insane.
Yeah, it seems we're going back to that again now. People can't afford houses again.
Hmm.
That period of house buying seems to have finished.
Yeah. Well, people are different. We were all very much the same in those days. You could leave money around, nobody would touch it. You could do anything, nobody touched anything belonged to someone else. Very few people.
All in the
would.
same boat, wouldn't
Yeah. But nowadays you leave anything around, it's gone.
he? I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as...
It's not as bad as that.
story
But
that's
there
told
are
in the
too
media.
many of the bastards around.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I know my father always said one of the reasons no one nicked anything is there's nothing to nick.
That is not far off the mark.
When they lived up the valley, same
But-
yeah.
People would put a note on their doorstep and money on it for the milkman to pick up.
Yeah, yeah.
And the baker would deliver the same way bread was delivered. They'd put the stuff on the windowsill outside the house. Imagine leaving money on the doorstep or outside the windowsill outside your house today.
Yeah, I think it's...
How long will it be there?
I don't know, it's in the mind a lot of it. I don't know if it's in the
Nobody
mind.
touched it. Because most people walked, very few people had cars.
So the scenery was anyway.
And you'd be bloody seen. And if you were seen, that was you finished.
Yeah, and it's not worth it for a couple of shillings, is it?
You were finished for good.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want to do that for a couple of shillings, it's not worth the risk, is it?
Yeah, you get a black guy walking home one night. It might not be the person who's robbed, but you get banged.
So would
You get
explain
battered.
it wasn't acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, going down the street and money on doorsteps and on windowsills with a little note for milk or bread, which was delivered, you see, or even a coal merchant.
Well,
They'd open the door on the back for the coal merchant to bring his coal in, put it in. They had a coal house in every room in the back of every house.
Yeah.
Because coal fire. We lit one here a few times.
Yeah, I miss a coal fire.
Oh boy. What a
Well, it's a living thing, isn't it?
what a
Breathes.
joy.
Yeah.
And the warmth of it. Yeah.
And the look of it, isn't it? And the air coming off it, it's not this horrible dry heat you get with electric.
Oh no, it's different.
The room breathes, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've lit a fire years ago. a few
Yeah,
times.
you should get one going, yeah.
He didn't know how to light it.
Oh, well, I suppose he wouldn't, would he?
You can't make it a fire. Or you
Yes.
get paper to bring it up and scrub it all.
Get this kindling going.
Put your sticks on top, all that way. And then bits of coal on top, so not too much coal. Because you had to get
Just
it
the
going.
small pieces to start with, isn't
Small
it?
pieces,
With your smalls on the,
I started off. Then once you got it started, you can
Just chuck it on then, yeah.
just put a bit more on until you're enough. Only a 5 years first.
Yeah, no, I was taught
That's going back
fire
years.
making.
He thought he was delighted. Well, there's still another fire downstairs.
Well, that was one of the things, because my family's comes from a coal mining background. No matter how poor you were, you always had stacks of coal, you know.
Well, the
So up in the valleys, you could have-
what is part of their wages, you see.
Yeah, you get a big fire up in the valley. You didn't get
Yeah.
nothing else. You were never cold.
It had so much, each miner had so much coal from the coal he worked in a year.
Well, it must have been a lot from what my father told me, anyway.
Oh yeah, and people in other jobs would tell us that a bit, because they wouldn't, when they deliver coal, their terrace houses,
Just
they'd
dump
come along and dump it in the street,
Yeah.
right outside your door. So it's your job to get it in.
A great matter of pride as well.
And nobody touched it.
But as a matter of pride, my grandfather, the pride he had was stacking the coal, they call it.
Aye.
You take this pile, and when they put
yeah.
it in the bunker, it's all perfectly lined up, you know?
That's right.
Like a little
Well, we had
series
what
of
they call
walls.
coal houses, but
Yeah.
like a bad house,
And
back
he's stacking
with a toilet.
coal nice and neat, yeah.
There's a stack of coal up high.
And it's because my grandfather was a
You
hewer.
get an old lady who'd come along sometimes and ask you, can I have a bucket of coal? Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Bit of coal, like, yeah. But say, because he was a hewer, he was at the front line, you know, picking
Oh,
the coal.
big hewer, he's got paid.
So yeah, there were pride then about the arrangement of the cost.
But he usually the one man hired 4 or 5 others in his team.
Yeah, that's right. His
And-
buddies, whatever they call them. Yeah.
So the mine owner or manager would hire him, and his team. He'd have his own team. He'd
Yeah,
choose
his
his own team.
subcontract.
Usually 4 or 5. Him and the other 4. Like.
Yeah, it's a strange setup, wasn't it? He had subcontracted then.
Yeah.
Because he'd have to dig it out at the front, and they'd have to put it onto carriages and get it away.
They
from
work
the front.
together, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some men who were employed by the mine doing this up and down and that, you know. Yeah. Different world.
Yeah, because it was a brutal system, because he only got paid on the amount of coal he produced.
They actually
They
did.
didn't include,
Actually, looking back, in the steelworks, they'd have one guy
Okay.
run a furnace, and he'd have his gang.
Similar systems. That's what
It
you were
was
involved
similar,
in, wasn't it?
but they were phasing that out quickly in the late 30s, 40s. They were trying to get rid of it.
Making it more centrally employed.
Well, there was some of it still going on in the early 50s.
So were you part of a gang then, or were you directly employed? Because you do.
No, I was
work
directly
for instance,
employed
didn't you?
when I started. It was in the 50s, so it all gone then. But I was used to it, for hearing and knowing what was going
Yeah.
on. But it was simpler for the management. But when then the union started having sick schemes and all this sort of thing, and pensions.
It gets complicated, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, they had to start, the company had to employ them directly.
Yeah. That was a problem with the coal as well, similar with the steel, that if someone got injured or badly hurt, you got a problem, haven't you?
Oh, wow.
Because they're not actually employees as such.
Well, they didn't, compensation was not particularly good. And in the steel industry, a lot of people lost their fingers and things like that for some reason.
Very unforgiving steel, isn't it? Heavy
Yeah.
points.
Seeing a man with no thumb was my father lost a thumb. He was off work for a while. And he had to go back. He couldn't grasp things very well with one hand.
Yeah.
Well, he worked, you know. He had to go back to work, you know.
Yeah, what did my
They gave him £52 or something. God.
the grandfather used to call them, like it's knocks, they call them, didn't he? Big up knocks or bumps. I can't remember, he had a special word for it. Because obviously, if you walk around underground, you hit your head or something, or your body, it doesn't give, does it? You're hitting a solid bit
Well,
of
I don't know
stone.
much about the mines. I know a
The
bit.
same with steelworks.
I know a
isn't it?
bit about the steelworks. So.
Yeah, it's the same thing there, isn't it? It's very heavy and solid. Things don't give.
No.
You hit it, and the shoe gets the ding, you know?
Well, yeah, when boys started work, they were 14 in those days, they used to have to teach them, you know, how to be careful, how to, you know.
Very heavy machinery, isn't it?
Oh,
Steelworks are a very dangerous
they
place.
used to have tea boys at first. They used to go get tea for the young men and that sort of thing. And then they
Find their way
graduated,
around the plant. Yeah.
and they graduated up to become a member of the gang or something, if they was lucky. It's a different world, wasn't it?
Completely, yeah. Yeah, I think that side of it I don't miss.
I used to work on the steelworks in the when I left school at 16, 17, 18, I did a bit with jobs. At 16, you had your holidays. I stayed into school when I was 18 to go to college, right? But you didn't take a holiday. You found yourself a job, and then you would. And the post office was a godsend. It was Christmas. You had 4 weeks guaranteed work.
Right.
Because the post office used to employ a lot of lads to help the postman. That's how they coped.
Yeah.
Because in those days, people they couldn't press buttons with computers and that. They sent letters and parcels. And the parcel post and the letters was prodigious. So they'd employ you to go around in a van with a parcel man. Things like that, you know. So there were ways of picking up some cash.
There we go. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Oh, and I got more clips and things. I know it's not really history as such, is it? But I can see from the comments, I think people are enjoying it. And if you want to put more up, please let me know. Yeah, we got on really well. We just chat away for hours. And I can see all the comments there having a go at the TV. Well, you know, no one dislikes it more than I do. We got rid of ours yonks ago. Thank goodness we did. Terrible thing, really. It could be a good thing, but it's just not used in a good way, is it? So what you can do instead, of course, is get the old grey matter working. The irony is, of course, Alan realises all this, and he talks about it all and everything, and how terrible it is, and all that kind of stuff. And then the next thing you see is sneak back off and put blinking TV back on. What can you do, eh? What can you do? It's a strange thing. I think it's lack of company. Alan Wilson should be going around, touring around the country, staying in top hotels, speaking to packed houses every night, and meeting people throughout the day, and he would be the happiest man you've ever seen. Because that's what stimulates him, okay? So I get a bit emotional sometimes. I see some of these things. Because it ain't like that, is it? Right, okay, so coming towards the end now. But there is something, I've got an idea for people to help keep them busy, okay? First of all, I need to add a couple of names to this list. Because Robert Pierce will be coming back on. Plus a couple of other people in the group going to come on for chats. And as you see, I say guest interviews, Alan Wilson, more what you just, same sort of thing you just saw. Is that really small on people's screens? I do apologise. Hang on. Let's make that a little bit bigger. So I'll put some more Alan up. People like that. I think everyone does, don't they? He's just inspirational. There's something charismatic about him. So anyway, Andrew Johnson, I hope, I don't know if everybody got to see the video earlier in the week. A little bit off subject for history, okay? And I'd like to see some comments and feedback on here, on emails, what people think about doing stuff that's slightly off the History Channel a bit, because they were, he was talking about Avebury and Mars, and we went on to Sitchin and origins of humans and all this kind of stuff, which is the kind of thing I would have even looked at 5 years ago. But it is interesting, and I always remember that myself and a lot of other people first became aware of Wilson and Blackett's work and all his hidden history through Rich Planet and watching stuff like Andrew Johnson and that kind of stuff. And Andrew Johnson is so knowledgeable and so good. So he is coming back on again in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure about what just yet. Thank you for all the lovely comments. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting choked up now. Patricia, that's lovely. It was lovely. Yes, it was. Alan, what a treasure. Yeah, I am one of the luckiest people because I get to see him not as often now as I would like to. But yeah, he's just compelling. That's the right word. Compelling. Al Wilkiel. I don't know your proper name, but yes, compelling is the right word. You can't help but want to listen to him all day. And if you notice, you would have noticed just from the video, well, I've got a trick now. I get him out of that room to another room where I'm working, and he comes to have a look and he's curious, and then we just get chatting, and then the day passes and no TV involved, alright? So I hate even being in the same room as one. Taliesin. In 1936, at the Berlin Olympics, they had televisions in their cafes. They don't tell you that, do they? They certainly don't. That's bizarre. NASA, all the planetary stuff, yes, well, whether you believe... If you don't believe everything that comes from NASA, you should look at more of Andrew Johnson's work, and I'd recommend you go to checktheevidence.com, one word. What does Alan think about Troy in Cambridgeshire? Now, that is a fantastic question. I don't know, and I'm going to make a note to ask. Alan basically him and Wilkins. Oh, hello, little boy's appeared. It's bedtime, is it? Right, I will. I'll put that in the next. I don't know if he knows anything about it. I've never discussed that with him. Usually, we've got two things we discuss. All the work of Wilson and Blackett, which is like vast, and questions arising, or just general, as you saw, chat about mostly old Wales or his career. I would like to do a biography at some point, all about the work he did in the shipyards and cracking all these languages and time in Italy. His young lad stuff. His work in steelworks, rugby, all that kind of thing. But hopefully one day. Right, next on the list is Yvonne Whiteman. If you don't know Yvonne, she is the person more than anybody on the planet who has been promoting, working with, producing books on about the Colbrin Bible. Kolbrin. Says the same as Colbrin. Can you see this little boy behind me? Can you be looking around with a cat? Colbrin Bible. They're almost finished. And, yes, it's coming on. Yvonne's had a bit of a rough time as well lately. Everyone's having a tough time these days, aren't they? So let's stick together. Let's share our time on Sunday evenings. And let's do these kind of things, right? Thank you, William. Never watch my TV. Before you know it, I get hypnotised. People say, do I not watch TV because I don't like it? No, I love it. I can sit there. I mean, not anymore, but it took a long time to break the spell. But I used to be able to, it's like, especially sport. That's the hard one to give up. Right, what's Alan researching at the moment? Well, the big one I'd like to do with him, there's quite a few, is the idea of tracing the Cymry to Peru and Bolivia. He's interested in that. And the other one, a lot of it, Alan's kind of thinking, well, I've had enough, really. He's tired. He's old. He wants to hand it on. Luckily, he gives a lot of it to me, and I've got the books coming out and work to do. But I would love to keep putting things in front of him and questioning, because I find once he starts looking at it, he does. He's just got this. He's a genius. There's no other way of putting it. He's a genius. He spots things which we don't. All right. So then we got Robert Langdon. I've spoken about. He's written books about the ancient history. I want to speak, and I did an interview with him, and this idea of dikes around Britain being channels for water and waterways, canal. I'll speak to Marshall Abrams about that. She loves word sources and things. You all know Marshall. Her talks are very, very, very popular. So have a look through, because the other thing which has been going on with the wonderful Bob Morgan is our own series. Our own series about Sutton Hoo, the real story. Okay, you got the dig and all that, and they kind of give you bits of it, but they don't tell you the whole thing. They're about 15 minutes long each night. That's all they are. 15, 20 minutes, 7 o'clock every day. There's still at least another week's worth to go. I'll add a few more towards the end, all right? Now, one of the things is weird. This is not in the show. I'll have to add an extra show on, all right? Let me show you something, which is kind of, I'm finding it a little bit weird. It's not something I've discussed with Bob yet, so hopefully he's watching this, or he will watch it on the replay. Right, let's go to Google, okay? Right. Now, the first thing... I'm not going to go through the whole Sutton Hoo thing now, obviously, that's what the series is for. But one of the weird things about Sutton Hoo is it's almost impossible to date it. Right? The gold stuff, the body's disappeared, everything's decayed. Who knows how old it is, okay? I've got theories which are wildly different to the consensus. And part of what we do in the series is looking at the consensus stuff, and I know Bob is keen to move the history by decades, or maybe 50 years, maybe even 100 years, but still within the same framework, whereas I've got a different idea completely. Anyway, I'm digressing. The point is the coins. Because the only thing in Sutton Hoo which can be dated, or gives a clue to a date, are the coins, alright? Hang on, let's go to Wikipedia first. I'm not suggesting use Wikipedia as a source of research, and I'll give you one example. Why now? Sutton Hoo, alright? Sutton Hoo, isn't it great? Okay. Right. So here's a lot of the story, a lot of things we cover. They don't do a bad job on here, but they don't. In fact, there's a couple of extra things that are quite cool. But you're never going to see stuff on here like the ship burial has prompted comparisons with Beowulf. They're never going to say on here, hey, maybe Beowulf is the story of Gilgamesh. And as Alan Wilson points out before that, it's an astrological thing where Beowulf represents Jupiter and the planets, and this is part of ancient British history, not Anglo-Saxon history. You're not going to see that on there. You'll see some of that in our programmes. But what you will see is that they really don't know the age. The only way you can date an archaeological site, if you think about it, if you can find one item with a date on it, then it must be younger. It can't be older than that date. For example, Queen Elizabeth II, the current queen, she became queen in 1952. So if I find a coin with a picture of Her Majesty on the front of it, assuming this hasn't been added later, or it's not a revisited site, this site cannot be older than 1952. It's got Queen Elizabeth II on it. It can't be before 1952 because that would be impossible. So, what you have to do with a site like this, there are coins are being found, alright? This is where I need people's help. Things to do, okay? There is weird there's no skeletons. That is another point, and we'll deal with that. And the Frank's casket, lots of stuff. Anyway, I'll come back to all that, alright? But in the show, and I'm going to add a few programs on the end with some of my weirder ideas. Bob's very good at the academic, meticulous research. You should watch the series. I've got some slightly off-the-wall ideas on adding at the end. Right, so the coins, right? The way the coins are dated is they're called Merovingian coins, which is France. Not because they're from there, they might have been made there. They're Franks. It's a bit tenuous why these coins are coming from different mints. All that's in the series. But they're dated by Byzantine kings. So the idea is, one of the later ones here, hang on a second. I did have all this up in the week, let me turn the computer. I've been wasting a lot of time on this, alright? Byzantine emperors, can I spell emperors? This is no. No. Hang on. Oh, God, how embarrassing. Getting tired. List of Byzantine emperors, alright? So. This is stuff you can do without leaving your house, right? Just get you thinking rather than just putting the telly on or something. So what we got here is all these different ones, right back to Constantine the Great, who was Helena, his mother Helen, who was British, and we're claiming that he was British, and hence you've got this link with Byzantine anyway. So if they are Byzantine coins, there's a British link more than an Anglo-Saxon one. But then people say the Angles traded and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's not going down that right now. So what they're trying to do to get Radwald, the Anglian king, into the right time frame, they have to prove that the coins are in this kind of area, right? 600s. Ooh, that's not very good. And you get the idea. Because he was around to about 636, something like that, I think. So Bob's got an idea that the coins are later, and he would go up to some of these people. But generally, we're looking at people like Justinian II, Constans. I'm acting all knowledgeable. All this I've learnt in the last few weeks. You can start from scratch, all right? You don't need to be an expert. Most of the work at Sutton Hoo was done by old Basil, and he was an amateur, self-taught. Anyone can have a go at this. I need some help, because it's something that's just driving me crazy about this. To my mind, the way you date the site is obvious, okay? You take your coin, like say you got this coin here, Heraclius. There's a picture of the coin. I'll make it bigger, not much bigger. Say, right, that's what a coin of Heraclius looks like. There's that coin.
Daddy,
Yes.
try pressing that one there.
What, that one? No, that didn't help. Thank you for trying, though. Thank you for the suggestion. Anyway, there's the coin of Heraclius. Here's the coin I found in Sutton Hoo. As you can see, those coins are the same. All very similar. Or you can clearly see it's the same person or the same writing. There's your proof, right? Very simple. You try and find anywhere where you can see that having been done with Sutton Hoo. I can't. Coin experts get brought in, and over the years, Bob does a brilliant analysis showing how the dates they come up with, they're very vague, and they change. I understand why the dates are so vague. I mean, the current thinking is, I think his name's Gareth Williams, who's the keeper or conservator at the British Library. He seems very reasonable, and he's saying you can't really work anything out for the dates of these coins, and they've got a range now from about 615 to, 670 or something. So it's going backwards and becoming less confident, whereas these experts knew exactly. But why are they given a range? If, for example, you find a coin with Justin II, right? His reign began in 565, so it cannot be older than that, for the reasons we gave, and possibly over 578, all right? So, where's this direct coin comparison? Why is it, Bob in our shows presented no black and white picture of the coins, but they're very small. It's very difficult to see. So what I've been trying to do is find pictures of the coins to compare with, right? You'd think that's reasonable, wouldn't you? If I had the site, the most important archaeological site in Britain, it's like our Tutankhamun, you show a coin there and a coin there and say, look, there's a comparison, look, there's a coin of Justinian. There's another coin of Justinian found in Byzantine or Trier or somewhere. They are more or less the same, therefore we know the dates. It's weird, right? Look at this. Sutton Hoo, okay? So what we're going to look at here, have a look at all this, it's good stuff. Right, this bit. The objects in the burial chamber, alright? This is the key. So what we got, what are they listing here? Their helmet, bowl, spoons, weapons, purse. The idea was the coins were in a purse. The purse was completely disintegrated due to the acidic soil, and all we're left with are the coins. Right, so we'll look. Let's jump down to there. Picture of the purse lid. There's a buckle. Oh, I'm not quite sure what they are. Anyways, lots of bits and pieces. Oh, they're shoulder clasps. There we are. And we looked at those. All of this, okay. And none of this can be dated, right? This could be anything. Now, one of the things I'm looking at is that this is far more ancient and could even go back to the 500 BC migration period. Or looking at... I don't have a flag flying. I want to explore different possibilities, all right? Or when Alan Wilson talks, if you look at the Lexton Mound, and he talks about that being Cynvelyn, and the goods linking over to ancient Ur. I think Cynvelyn was 1st or 2nd century AD anyway. So it could be that period. It could be British before Anglo-Saxons, or it could be, I think also, it might even be medieval. How weird is that? So the whole thing's up for grabs in my view, okay? So where's the coins? Where's the coins? None of this can be dated. The only thing that can be dated are the coins. So why aren't they... Why can't you find them anywhere?
Daddy,
Yes?
how are they so shiny?
They're very shiny, aren't they? Yeah, well, it's gold. Gold's pretty good at staying shiny, but a lot of this, you have to be careful, are... Good question, that. Thank you. A lot of these things are reconstructions. Look at this here, right? The purse contains 37 gold shillings or tremises, each originating from a different Frankish mint. Really? And they got some guesses here. And they got 3 blanks. And they might have been left to pay the ghostly oarsman in the afterworld. So it all gets very weird, right? And then I looked at to show you can do sort of a bit of armchair sleuthing, if you like. Was this thing about the shillings? I thought, okay, we all know what shillings are. Let's look at this. History of the shillings. I think it was shillings I looked at. Right, the first ones, if you go back to the ancient history ones. Oh no, I thought it was in here I was looking. Oh, blast. Anyway, I've got time to go ferreting through it all now. But what you'll find is that if you go back to... If you start following the coins through, you find different hoards. Did I write the name down? Codarton or something. There's another hoard of coins found, and they all get given this date about 630 odd, and you cannot see a direct comparison. This is why we know this coin compares to this one. How weird is that? Tremises, this is what we're looking for, okay? Ah, there we go. Not shillings, pennies. There we go. My mistake. A tremis, because you've got, I think it's called a semis or something, is the gold coin. If in the half one is a semisa, and then a third is a tremis, all right? So if you look at this, then again, it talks about... let's go back a bit. Here we go. Right, so looking at gold soldus, and a half one's a semi, and a third one's a tremis, all right? There we are. This is from Trier, though, again, look, you see. Found in an Anglo-Saxon grave. So have a look at Droxford, Hampshire, look at that lot. See if you can find those corns. Oop, Romano-British, that's quite amusing. At least it does acknowledge in here that this myth, I would call it a myth, that there's no coins struck in Britain before the Angles turned up and started again in 600s, and it's only the Romans. Start picking through and you find that doesn't seem to be the case, all right? Yeah, there's 15,000 coins here. Look. This is the other one, Hoxton Hoard. Go and check out the Hoxton Hoard and see if you can find pictures there of the actual premises and how you take them and compare them. Because these seem to be pre-Anglo-Saxon. And I think there's more comparison with these. And then there's other stuff. I'll do a separate video on it. But I wanted to get people involved now. Because what I'd like you to do, please, is to help me out a bit. And for your own mind, and to give yourself a good project to do. See if you can find 2 challenges. One, high quality pictures of the premises. It's got to be the ones with the gold faces on. Just to let you know, there's 37 coins in Sutton Hoo. 5 have got faces on. They're the ones that are claimed to be traceable. You know, that's Justin, that's Constance, that's whatever, right? The others don't really matter. In my book, only 1 coin matters. What is the newest coin? What's the newest coin? Because that sets the date it can't be older than, right? That's simple as that. Why isn't this all over Wikipedia and all over every history book? That's the key coin. Why isn't it around? Why is it not visible? It's very, very weird. So try and find for me if you can. Any professional archaeologists, help me out. I got to get this right. Numismatists, the coin experts, help me out. And find a picture of that coin. Could the treasure be buried into an existing, much older boat burial? Well, I would say yes, but apparently this is another stinky story, alright? The idea is that you can always tell on a dig if the soil has been disturbed, even if it's hundreds of years ago, with different colour of the soil and compression. And I've never been on a dig. Bob's been on loads. He says you can always tell. People generally say you can tell. The weird thing was, when Basil went and dug the whole thing way back in the day, he very carefully replaced all the soil afterwards and left it perfectly. When the professional archaeologists went in the 1960s, they bombed through the whole lot. And there's nothing left. So there's no way now of tracing if any revisit took place. The obvious, walking is ideal. Yeah, walking's good. Yeah, try and get Alan out of the house. Yeah, tell me about it. Alright, metal detecting and stuff. Yeah, the metal detectors, anyone knows, please. Because what I did, I started going on auction sites. Because you can buy these things, tremises and that. They're not that rare. You could buy a tremis, a gold one, I think about £400. Some of the really rare ones, like 25,000 and stuff. But maybe it's my imagination, but the coins that are for auction, the ones that are certified coins, don't look the same as the ones in Sutton Hoo. Have a look. I don't want to tell you why I think they're different. Have a look, compare them. And I would say that they look different in many ways. And partly reading flamenco and things like that, you realise that a lot of these coins claim to be read, you can't actually read them. It's a bit like hieroglyphs or something. You look at it and you think, am I stupid? I can't see how that says his name. Anyway, it's getting late now. I'll get complaints from parents whose children watch these shows. Like Andrew. And the other thing I'd like everyone to do, everyone, please, just like Andrew's done this week, and Michael Tomlin's done this week, and David has done, make some videos about your local area, pack it in some information, anything. Preferably the older the better. We tend to do ancient stuff, pre-Anglo-Saxon, but even if it's a bit more recent, let's make this a real club activity on a Sunday evening, okay? And we'll do plenty of historical videos and information during the week. So keep looking out for those. 7 o'clock every day, Sutton Hoo. Okay, anyway, so yeah, don't hide the facts, just ignore them. This is a weird one. I find it very weird. I'll just show you again. Hang on. Very weird. All the goods you can see in all the photos. The dig and the mounds, and the only thing that dates the site, the most important thing in the whole of British archaeology, I would say, is the coins, or are the coins. Where are they? Where are the coins? Where are the coins? I will do one more thing on here. I know Marshall tells me off for using Google. I try not to use it for general searches, but it makes a point here. Watch this. Sutton Hoo coins. So you get this picture. This is the picture you always get. It's from a distance. You can't really see them, alright? I'm going to blow that one up. This is the picture you always get. You can't look closely at any of them, okay? And nowhere does it say, well, this is the oldest, or the newest, or this was just in, or... drives me mad. So you think, oh, this is going to be it. No, when you click on these pictures, you'll find that they're... hang on, what's this one? Is this actually from Sutton Hoo? Anyway, this is Sutton Hoo coin, and I won't tell you why. It looks different to the what they're supposed to be. I won't tell you why. All right. Anyway, enough of me rambling on. It's getting late and late. Right, Anne, are you going to play us out?
Yeah,
Arnie's falling asleep here, as fascinated as he is by me looking at coins all week. I think he's probably had enough. What should we have? Go on, have a bit of Men of Harlech. I'll have something uplifting. Get us all... I'm just getting mauled here. I don't think you guys can see. Oh, yeah, and thank you very much for all the happy birthdays for my rather annoying now 10-year-old and his brother, the other 10-year-old, who hasn't come to say goodnight. Which one is there? I think it's Zavi, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zavi, yeah. And thank you for everyone for me. Just to say, hope you can hear me over the violin. Yes, my rebirth. Hang on a second. I'm also explain. This is a good thing I think everyone should do. Something I have done for many, many years, as my children know. Every September, which is when my birthday is, I become 36. Every year.
No,
And then-
become 35.
No,
Oh, yeah,
36?
oh, yeah,
Yeah, I know my own...
September.
Oh, you're trying to tell me I don't know my own age. And then every March the 1st, which is coincidentally with my birthday, 6-month interval, so it works out very nicely, I have my rebirth day, and I become 35 again. I know it sounds silly, but I tell you what, it really works. And I really don't know how old I am anymore. And everyone asks me, I tell you, you don't know either. And until you're not necessarily here, okay? Even if you have worked it out, he's wrong. I am now 35 again, and I hope I look good. I feel great. I'm sleeping well. I feel full of energy. I was out in the garden. I was doing physical work, carrying blocks around and chopping things down.
Yeah.
It's great to be 35 again. I recommend everyone does the same thing. When they say, oh, age is just a number, well, don't use that number then. Use a different number, all right? So there we are. So that's my... thank you very much, everyone, for all the happy rebirthdays I got, wishes, which really surprised me. It's the first time. So there you go, 35-year-old Ross saying, North Star, and for my 10-year-old Zavi, I've lost the other one, he's disappeared. And there's
here.
Arnie. Oh, Leon's appeared now. Hello. Right, so say North Star and Heddwch. We can do a dragon like that. Heddwch. Oh, hang on, I'm going to close it down. Now I'm going to see Arnie play. Go on, Arnie, play. Play. Up your dreaming, see them with their spear points gleaming. Ha-da-da. Oh, James is 39 every year. Very good. Dione. Yes, it is a new hat. Well spotted. Thank you, Amelia.
For Scottish Day.
Just for Scottish Day. Just to show it's not all about Wales, alright? Ba 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 ba. You're only as young as you feel. Men of Harlech, please. Oh, you got Men of Harlech. There you go. It's just come up on the... Yes, Monica, we are going to speak, alright? I want to get you live. Not live. We'll just do a recorded one. Always remember Ivor Emmanuel in Zulu. Welshman to the fore. Right, thank you much, everyone. I'll leave the chat on for another few minutes. I'll try and put some Baron Blackett music up. There are still copies of the CD available.
Loads of them.
Loads of them, thanks, Aunt. Sure, you've got to make it scarcity, alright? There's a few left.
Only a few left. Grab yours now before it's too late.
Please, there's hundreds left. There's a few left. If you're quick, you will get a Baron Blackett. Stop playing the computer, you. God, flicking heck. I'm in the middle of a live show. We've got 8 million people watching this. Oh, look what's happened now. Has it all gone wrong? Right, okay, I'm going to do my... hang on, let's get... oh, it's all gone wrong. You've ruined it now. That's it. Yeah, you have. Yeah, Leon, yeah. Hang on a second. You look at the pictures. Oh, you look at the coins. Yeah. I think you'd be good at this, actually. You would be good at that. On
Everybody wants to see.
Everyone wants to see a zoom in the coin. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. All right, hang on a second. I'm trying to find the music so I can put the music on. Quick. Where is it? I can find the CD covers. I can't find the blinking music.
There's music.
Yeah, I'll put some... All right, I'll close the thing down. I'll put some music up so the chat can continue so everyone has a chance to say goodnight to each other properly. And you can play a little bit more while I'm trying to find Baron's music, okay? So, till the next time, hello. It's supposed to be on there. Where is it on here? Look. Ah, here we are. Very good. Yeah, I'll unplug the microphone now.
Grazie.
Grazie. Yeah, we'll do some Godfather next week.